Hey everybody, this video lesson is going to cover the classification of matter. If I asked you what is chemistry, to put it into a definition, the answer would be that chemistry is the study of matter and energy. Now what is matter? Matter is defined as anything that has mass and takes up space, or has volume. So if a sample of something that you're looking at has mass and volume, then it is matter and not energy. Because if you're not matter, then you have to be energy. Anyway, our goal as scientists is to classify matter, to describe it a little bit more precisely. And in order to do that, I'm going to introduce to you a couple of vocabulary words, and it's best if I introduce this subject using a flowchart. Now I'm going to start with matter at the top, and I'm going to draw in two things that come off of matter. Matter can be described as either a mixture or a pure substance. So under the umbrella of matter, you are either mixed matter or pure matter. Now discussing mixtures specifically, if you were to define a mixture, it's two or more substances occupying the same space at the same time. For a mixture, sometimes it's important to define the space, like maybe the space is a classroom and the students are mixed up types of humans in the same place at the same time. But usually in chemistry, we're identifying mixtures of matter. And so you're talking about things like salt mixed with water. So they're mixed up in the same cup at the same time. But not all mixtures are the same. Some mixtures are good and even mixtures, and some are uneven mixtures. And so I'm going to free up a little bit of space here and change to a different color to talk about this next part. So mixtures could come in one of two ways, either a good even mixture or an uneven mixture. Now an even mixture is called a homogeneous mixture, and an uneven mixture is called heterogeneous. You've worked with these prefixes homo and hetero before, probably in your biology courses. Back in the genetics topic, there are things called homozygous and heterozygous when it comes to mixing together the dominant recessive traits of any particular species. And so homo means same and hetero means not the same or different. In homogeneous and heterogeneous case, homogeneous means a mixture in which all the parts are or look the same. Going back to my example of a mixture from up above, salt water is actually an example of homogeneous, because if you take a sample of salt water, take a cup and scoop some up, you cannot tell the salt and the water apart. It all seems to look like the same substance, and that's why it's considered to be a homogeneous mixture. Other examples include soft drinks, and even the air that you're breathing right now is an even mixture of different gases, including nitrogen and oxygen, and other gases as well. Now heterogeneous, on the other hand, is when you can tell the parts apart from one another because they don't all look the same. So if you are, once again, at the beach and you look at the ocean, that's an example of a homogeneous mixture. But if you look down at your feet, you notice the sand, and there's little bits of shells, maybe different sizes of sand particles, and even maybe different colors of sand. And this is a heterogeneous mixture because all the particles don't look exactly the same. They are distinguishable from one another. So in summary, mixtures are when two or more substances occupy the same place at the same time, and those mixtures can be broken down into even and uneven mixture, or homogeneous and heterogeneous. Now let's shift gears and talk about the pure substances. A pure substance is a situation where the matter consists of all the exact same particles. So for example, if you've got a sample of pure water, and pure being the key word here, is that it's all just H2O. So you got a cup full of it, and every particle you see, although you can't see them because they're too small, but you know that it's pure water, so all the substance is exactly the same particle, H2O. Now, these H2O particles are bonded together. It's got some H and some O together, but it's bonded, so that's what makes it a pure substance. And we'll talk about the difference between a bonded set of atoms and atoms by themselves, because pure substances, like mixtures, can be broken down into two types. The first type of pure substance is referred to as an element, and elements are anything that you find on the periodic table. Look at the periodic table, pick out an element, and if you have all of the same element in the cup at the same time, you have a pure substance. For example, pure gold, or pure silver, or pure oxygen. Those sorts of things are elements. On the other hand, if you've got two elements, but they are connected by a bond, you have the other type of pure substance, which is called a compound. And this is key here, that they need to be bonded together either by an ionic or covalent bond. Now, Two or more substances at the same place at the same time is a mixture, but they're not bonded. Two or more elements in the same place that are bonded together make a compound. And then you can get multiples of that compound in the same place, and that is a pure substance, like a cup of water, as I mentioned before. You've got water, which is bonded H2O, and if you remember from biology, it's got that crooked shape to it. There's O in the middle and with H's coming down on either side. But you've got just multiples of H2O, you have a pure compound. Now, as I back out here and get all of this on one page at the same time, you can see that the flowchart over here now can be used to identify a matter as either a mixture or a pure substance, and if it's a mixture, you can further categorize it as homogeneous or heterogeneous. If it's a pure substance, you could further categorize it as an element or a compound. Now, these words, these vocabulary words, are important to know for upcoming quizzes and tests. Mixture, pure substance, homogeneous, heterogeneous, element, and compound. Pretty much anything that you come in contact in your everyday life can be described by these vocabulary terms. Well, that takes care of this video lesson. Thanks for listening.